The Quincunx is one of the symbols that synthesize in greater depth the science, mysticism, art, and philosophy of the people and cultures around Anahuac. It integrates a mathematical structure associated with time and space. Therefore, reference will be made to aspects related to the Earth and the cosmos. Our wise grandparents found various ways to represent it. However, we will find the symbol with a constancy from the Olmecs to the Mexicas, which tell us of a community of knowledge of more than 7,000 years. The Quincunx is a space divided into four parts where the intersection takes on a particular sense and significance, since it speaks of a center in which all forces, archetypes, elements, and principles converge. It's a unifying, integrating, and linking center. There are several philosophical components linked to the Quincunx. In the first place, Tlactipac is represented the terrestrial space divided into four directions, each one with a substantial force that sustains life on Earth. Here, a center navel is recognized, which is the point where the earthly and cosmic forces converge, because there is a kind of opening towards a vertical space, as if it were a tube in which all the energies of the sky and the underworld are also found. Secondly, the Quincunx can be understood as a cross in which there are two planes clearly represented, on the one hand on the horizontal space and the other vertical. When we speak of the horizontal, we refer to the state on Earth where everything, absolutely everything, is tangible, palpable, and observable, very contrary to the vertical sense where everything is intangible, impalpable to the senses, and impossible to experience with reason. Thirdly, the structure is divided into four spaces to allocate each of them to an element of nature, which are synthesized in a center in which there is only energy and movement. Fourthly, the Quincunx is related to the planet Venus because its cycle is pentagonal, that is, in a period of 8 exact years. Venus completes 5 synodic cycles. This is the mathematical structure on which our ancestors were based to create the entire account of time. The Quincunx also tell us about time, cycles, and permanence on the earthly and cosmic plane. Under these arguments is how we can establish that the Quincunx is a synthesis of the Anahuac cosmology, applied by the various cultural expressions, and that is immersed in a deep understanding of space and time. To speak of this symbol is to refer to the dual aspect contained in all creation, where we are tonal, matter, and nawali, energy. We have a tangible body and intangible soul. The substantial question is, why spend time in this world immersed between the cosmic, earthly, and infrahuman planes? The answer lies in the center. This is our present and our heart. In other words, the heart is the place where all cosmic and earthly forces converge. Therefore, the purpose of living lies in becoming aware of this duality, so that the universe recognizes itself. Our ancestors wondered, do we come to this earth to be just a whim of a nature? In other words, do we come to this earthly plane only to satisfy our biological needs, such as eating, defecating, sleeping, and reproducing? We come to fulfill a time on earth in the horizontal plane with the purpose of perfecting ourselves. And to the extent that we manage to dominate our passions is how we truly humanize ourselves, ascend in the vertical plane. Our grandparents always pointed out to us the importance of the navel. In fact, the name of Mexico is associated with that Xictli, that means navel or center, where the cosmic forces are harmoniously integrated with earthly forces. Cuautli, the eagle, is in its flight through the Cuauhxicalli eagle, the celestial vault, descends with all its life energy to perch on the Tenochtli, the nopali, the cactus, and thus create a tlachinoli, burnt water, the equilibrium, source of life and movement. Eagle, heat, and nopali, water, are the basis of life, and perch in the center called Mexico, that means in the navel of Met, the maguey, the cactus plant. That represents is an allegory of a plane of inertia inside of a torus field. This navel is our heart because it's the center of the universe. From here, from the beating of our hearts, we know the world and creation. With the senses, we perceive and interpret the duality of life that swings like a pendulum between love and fear. From our heart, we make life flow, and it's entirely our responsibility to live in harmony, to maintain a balance. This same structural sense is what shapes the temples that our ancestors built. The Europeans consider the Teocalis or Anahuaca temples as retrograde, primitive, and very simplistic manifestations of the simple fact of consider them mounds of earth. What those who arrived from Spain did not know is that the Teocalis pyramids were built in this way because they are open and not closed temples. Each Teocalli or pyramid or temple, in its majority and generality, are quadrangular spaces with a center. In other words, each temple is inspired by a Quincunx, with which we affirm that each Teocalli is a scale model of the universe, where cosmic and terrestrial forces converge. Here the concept of time and space interact, and where in each Teocalli a navel heart is created, from which the rational animal can be perfected to ascend in its state of evolution towards the verticality, flying with feathers, with wings of sound. However, doesn't take advantage of his life to perfect himself, dominate himself, humanize himself, and ascend, vertically wastes his time miserably. The stay on earth is an extremely valuable time to make the best attempt to be in unity, a quality that has the characteristic of being part of the whole, both the earthly and the cosmic. That is why our wise grandparents sought to be Toltecs, artists, warriors of the spirit, who worked with the purpose of making their way of life a work piece of art. Today, we take their teachings to learn to live in the Naval Heart Center, being warriors of the flourished death, embodying Quetzalcoatl, the cosmic consciousness, and the evolution. Take advantage of every moment and every experience to perfect yourself on the vertical path, acting, thinking, and feeling from your naval heart. The teocalis, or pyramids, are machines that work like a quantum regenerator. They have all been built on the adjacent energy vortices of the plane, distributed along the various intersections. Those are acupuncture points called nadis in India, just like our bodies, where the electromagnetism converge, and that the flower of life shows us this energetic crossing called by modern science as ley lines. The teocalli is extracting and concentrating this energy from the vortex below the earth. That is light, electricity, that is distributed thanks to water and minerals of the earth, which rises in a spiral following the golden sequences, passing through 9 steps of energy, emitting radiation, which later absorbs the information, concentrates, and transforms into pulses or high-frequency light waves, serving as the quantum resonator that then acts as emitting antenna that distributes this energy over a considerable radius of distance, interacting with the electromagnetic field of people positively. It's another physical expression of the torus and of the magic of the implosion, which self-regulates and sustains, traveling in spirals like a snake, performing the effect of the wave, the ripple effect. That is why we see how the shadow of the snake descends every equinox in the teocalli of Quincunx in Yucatan. The feathered serpent, a fractal of the human body and how we function inside, raising and lowering energy. Following the trail of the vortex located at the center of the earth plane, lead us to the trail of another very important element that and also ancient Anahuac and plain cultures describe as the tree of life. This tree, in the same way that the entire Aztlan myth can be described physically and in the allegorical and metaphorical way, for the same reason that everything is fractal, and as within, so without, as above, so below. First, let's see the physical description of this great tree. As we mentioned before, in that devastating antediluvian war, there were great trees on the face of the earth. Therefore, there was also a huge physical center tree, which was also cut down during the war. Act that the negative elite that governed this matrix tell us this story in the Hollywood Avatar movie, leaving only the base of this tree, which petrified like the other trees, remaining in what the Indian culture called as the mountain Meru or Sumeru, the Rupus nigra, which is clearly described on various ancient maps and is recorded in the different sacred books of all the ancient cultures of the plain. This mountain retains part of the electromagnetic properties it possessed since, being located near the plane, it feeds directly of the energy of the black sun and the vortex of the main torus of the earth. Hence, the black cube is worshipped throughout the world, having the Mecca in Arabia as the main temple, where non-consciousness recreation is made with the energy of the people of what happens in the center of the plane. This tree is also of an energetic form since it represents the spiral of the torus and the energy that emanates from the black sun through the portal or central vortex, which manifests itself in the aurora borealis, which has the same green color as the trees, the which symbolizes the electromagnetic fields of the earth. And this tree is the axis or spine through which the energy that feeds the earth rises and keeps it in balance, drifting in the star Polaris at the top as a reflection of the vortex or central portal, which is the eye that sees everything in the Illuminati symbol. And as we saw, our eyes are a fractal of all this clearly. It's the same tree that is seen in the wave effect, in the ripple effect. And that is why a stick with a sphere on top is used to represent the North Pole, which doesn't exist like the system shows us. Just like fractals that we are, that tree is inside everything living being in this physical plane. The human body has the two trees inside. It seems the true temple of the source and the soul is the body, but not a construction of a stone. Therefore, we can find that both the tree of life and knowledge that is described in the Bible are within us as well, being the circulatory system with the heart as the commander, the tree of life, and the nervous system with the brain as the boss, the tree of knowledge. Since tree means branching, and clearly these vital systems have a sophisticated system of branches through which electricity, the nervous system, and magnetism are conducted. The heart, which purifies the blood water, vital liquid that make us possible the perfect magnetical, energetical, and electrical conduction in our bodies, communicating all systems through our blood, which is part of this system of internal metamorphosis, in order to make our temples lighter vehicles, and the perfect alchemy of transforming lead into gold, that is, carbon in silicon, since gold means light in Sumerian, from the word or, aur, ur, and therefore it was of vital importance to fully carry out all the ascetic practices such as fasting and purification of our body, to transform our dense and viscous fluids in pure water again, pure plasma, full of crystals or precious minerals, superconductors of energy, to return to the original plasma state, to the blood, and from there achieve the ascension of frequencies. Same lesson that shows us in the Atlachinoli process, the burnt water, or meteor equilibrium, using heat and water to create steam that rises due to its lightness and subtlety, performing in our bodies the process of photosynthesis and then achieving our ascension, which marks and defines the path of the feather snake called Quetzalcoatl, Kukulkan, to all the Masewalis. As part of these branches of this tree, we can mention one of them in its fractal form to the genetic code DNA, which is the book of life, the seal of creation, where all the information from the source is in us synthesized. It's the stairway to heaven, a small tree that rises in a spiral way, where that energy crossing is also reflected in the form of X, a magical intersection of implosion, which again refers to the center, vortex, or portal, but in the micro internal cosmos of each being, since the X marks the existence of exit or the exit and shapes the hexagon with which nature creates all forms together with the others polygons. It's the receiving antenna as well as emitting all types of frequency to which it's exposed, and for this reason is the same master key to achieve ascension as well, since it's charge of resonating our vibrating in sync with the high vibration frequencies of the earth, and for that we need to be in pure coherence of our heart and in pure love, the highest of the highest frequencies is the resonant wave amplitude, which emits a type of wave of high and rapid frequency that excites these antennas of the genetic code, awakening the remaining dormant codons, and so on. A clean and detoxified physical body, it will be possible to make the metamorphosis from carbon to silicon again and achieve immortality, since love comes from the Latin a that means without and mort that means death. That's why in Spanish we say amor, that means without death, because we are immortal beings, where it has been proven that our cells are they self-generate as long as the cellular bioterrain, the sacred fluids with acids, toxins, mucus, and heavy metals are not poisoned or dirty, just like an intelligent biological quantum machine, as we saw in the example of the Teocalis and pyramids. Since the human temple is like a Ankh key, that it's a biological electromagnetic oscillator full of pure energy. Its proper functioning will depend on a good electromagnetic conduction without obstructions and without too much carbon resistance in the system to shine with all its power in a perpetual and immortal way. The Tamauchan is the name that our ancestors in Anahuac gave to Hyperborea. Its name mainly refers to the definition of the is the house of the descent of the house to remember. And that it's located past the portal or vortex of the center of the physical plane, the other side of the torus field, our original dwelling or house. According to different pre-American myths, it's a true paradise where etherical beings live. The ruler of the Tamauchan is Iztapapalot, that means white butterfly, which we see as in its ears it carries the symbol of the black sun, since that is where it resides. We have already explained the butterfly, a symbol of constant transformation, and the white color symbolizes the magnetism, since the creative force converges there together with the dielectric field. There the toroid is formed, which will give life to her daughter with light or electricity on this side of the physical plane. Tamauchan is closely linked to Tlalocan, another of the Aztec paradise, or perhaps is the same according to some scholars. For the later, Tamauchan will be nothing more than the flourish and magical tree. Xochitlicacan. Inside the Tlalocan, the tree of life of Tonacacahuitl, the reference from where it's born, or the root of the tree already mentioned, or from where the electromagnetic column is born, from the earth. Some of the main myths of Tamauchan refer to the place where the energy called Xochiquetzal lived, the protector of all Mary mothers, love and beauty. But Tamauchan also seems to refer to the place where Xochitlacacan grows, a tree full of flowers, whose petals had the property of transforming those who touch it into a faithful lover. But it was forbidden to cut these flowers by the gods. On one occasion, the tree fell apart and the flowers began to bleed. Myth that we already explained when it collapsed from the tree in the center of our plain. The myth also tells us that in Tamauchan the human being was created, that is, the material body to go out to the other side of the plane, the dense physical world of 3D in this tonality matrix. Another important myth refers to Tamauchan as the place of where the great Quetzalcoatl and Cuilatzin deposited the sacred bones with which the first human beings were forged. The beings that reach the degree of Tolteca are those that can express themselves with the heart, those that love conditionally mind, not mind or conditions. But to achieve that, you must purge the physical body of obstructions so that the breath of life can flow in you, the resonance of true love. Toltec means artist of the spirit, educated beings of their own experience, without beliefs, who take everything from their heart, and for that you must be ascetic, that is, not fall into the banal pleasures of extracting energy, but knowing how to save and manage your energy wisely through fasting, theomania, that means meditation, recapitulation, physical exercise, and internal hygiene. That we call Nahualism, the mastering of create, find, and distribute energy. The Toltec teachings tell us about claiming our own divinity and finding the essence within us. They talk about opening the heart completely and become a sage. Can you imagine that the world would be like if all human beings opened their hearts and discovered love within? We can do it. Everyone can do it. It's not about following an imposed idea. It's about finding yourself and expressing yourself in your own way. That is the reason why your life is an art. Life in Matrix is nothing more than a dream. And if you create your life with love, your dream becomes a work of art. The Toltec prophecies have foreseen the beginning of a new world, of a new humanity, where human beings take responsibility for their own lives and beliefs and eliminate them in order to know and verify everything. The time is coming when you will become your own shaman or temachtiani, your own master. You don't need others to tell you what the will of a god, the Mirch, is, because now you know that God doesn't exist. It's a belief, and now you are face to face without any intermediary with yourself, with your Nahual, with the essence, with the original resonance of life, which you were looking for in imposed dogmas, programmings, and beliefs, and have found inside yourself, is no longer just outside of you. As you can see, everything is beliefs. What we believe is what directs our existence, what directs our life. We build a belief of system that is like a box inside which we settle. We can't escape because we think we can't. And this is the situation we find ourselves. Human beings create their own restrictions and their own limitations. We decide what is humanly possible and what is impossible. And then, just because we believe so, it becomes our truth. Believing is creating, so eliminate your beliefs to turn them into your own experience and cleanse your body of mind and emotions, recovering your health, eliminating toxins, parasites, fungi, and toxins from your system and your internal waters. Your body is a temple, a living temple in which your soul resides. That fractal or resonance essence frequency. Therefore, the only thing left is to enjoy life consciously, to be alive, to heal the physical body, to create a new life that allows you to openly invite all the love that is within you.